Hey, welcome back to my watercolor channel, and today I tried out something different and I used some inks. So I want to make or to paint a dragon as it is the year of the dragon. Okay, let's get started. Welcome back to my watercolor channel, and today I paint a dragon. In fact, it is a Japanese dragon. I use no watercolors. Actually, I use ink, black ink, and then as well as some green ink. So I just focus on the colors. I haven't been painting with ink before, so it is quite exciting to try. However, I'm quite aware that my skill set is not that good at the moment. I prepared a sketch, so you can see it here, and the form of the dragon is more serpent-like, as well as I will use some green for the flowers and the moon behind the dragon. And I use a small brush because I want it to be a bookmark, so the piece of paper is not very large as such. But I try to focus to add some layers, so I have a lighter layer and then continued with the body, and while the head was drying I add a darker layer of ink. I try to find the right value, as well as I continue with the rest of the body. So the idea is, as it is quite known that the year of the dragon has begun, and I thought it would be quite interesting to paint something very different what I usually do. The year of the dragon stands for a success and a power, and is very popular in the Asian countries in particular. There is a small difference between the Chinese dragon and the Japanese dragon. So I think the most obvious is that the Japanese dragon has only 3 toes. And even bigger difference there is to the Western dragon, where the dragon has some wings, as well as in Western countries it's more seen as a bad omen, so it's more a terrifying creature, while in the Asian cultures it's an omen of good luck. The Japanese dragon is called Rue. I don't know if I pronounced it right, and its origin is in the genesis of the universe. So while the earth and the heaven have been created, 7 generations of the kami, as the gods, were born as well, and at the same time dragons and other creatures appeared in order to protect them. They are also seen as a guardian of the Buddhism. This is why it is featured in many temples. Continue here with my little dragon. Around the body I did not add scales, tones, but I wanted to add softness. It is more like in goldfishes and the fins, but very, very light, very transparent. I try to create kind of this lightness as well while adding more of a darker areas to the rest of the body, and as well as adding some shadow areas around the flowers which are to come. And then I continue now to emphasize the different features of the dragon, so at the head as well as where the horns are, so it's not, it looks a bit more three-dimensional, and adding the beard. My eyebrows are not that pronounced here, but as I said, it was very small painting, so I didn't want to add too many details, but I still add some scales onto the belly to give an idea of the form of the dragon, and then a little bit around the mouth and the eyes to emphasize different features. As well, when the scales, so around the body, have dried, add a little bit more of a darker colors, so it's more distinguished from the body as well. Occasionally I add some water, so it's kind of flowing nicely together. I continue with the moon, so I add more water. I add some water around the moon, and then I use my green ink to add it around. So I don't paint the moon itself, but I just want to have a nice green color around the moon. And it is quite a nice experience to paint it, but I use watercolor paper, so, and it has relatively the ink acts differently with the paper than the watercolor, so I still need quite a few practice. I continue with the flowers, so I wanted a little bit of a different colors in this bookmark, and first added some dark layers, and then when the flower has dried, or when the paint on the flower has dried, I add more of the green color, which is a bit more stronger in the pigment. I add as well some blossoms on there next to the dragons. And some with the green and some branches, then using the black ink. So basically the dragon is soon ready. I'm just adding a few bits here and there because to add the contrast, as the ink has dried out, so the contrast was not that prevalent. And the shadows, and as well I added some green to the eye, but I'm not quite sure if that was a good idea, because then the eye looks a bit too dark. And then adding some, emphasizing a bit more of the flowers, adding black inside and a bit outside on the flowers, and using a stronger green as well, because the ink faded away too much. And we but here more of the green, so I'm basically just using 2 colors for the dragon. And then I emphasize a little bit more the green, the moon underneath the dragon's head, because I was a bit afraid to add too much color at this point. But yes, that was a nice experience. I hope you enjoyed the lesson, and it turned quite okay. However, I see that I need more practice with the brush strokes myself, but I enjoyed it, and that's the main thing. I hope you enjoyed it too, and I see you next time. Bye.